were facing the government during Boss 50 when we were crying about those things. Some of us, we went with some guys where we went to confront the minister about how we felt that the local creative industry had been denied the opportunity to participate or to take part and to be empowered. You understand? And we went to see him. We even went to the parliament. We tried to see the vice president. Then Remasisi was not around. Then we went to parliament. We met all these guys from the ruling party, then the BDP, and the guys who were in were.
Bofelo, welcome to the 20th podcast, bro. Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time. It's been a long time coming. So here we are.
Yeah.
Most importantly,
We have a lot of issues to unpack.
Yeah.
But how have you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, a lot has been happening.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a lot has been happening. We're growing up, interest, more interest now, responsibilities and stuff, So, as a Motswana man, at this age, you start now frequenting home, even if you are not getting married, but, the foundations, because it is in me that at some point in time, I have to go back home. I can't be in gaps forever. So, growing up and changing, and change of priorities and stuff.
So a lot of people don't know you like facially, they know the work that you've done, but they don't know that you're the guy who's behind this and that and that. But like in a nutshell, just tell us, who are you?
Okay.
Yeah.
But like you said, Bofelo Kgaodi, I'm a thespian, I'm a creative executive, and I'm an activist. I do quite a lot of things. I'm saying I'm a thespian because I'm an actor. I've done drama for a very long time, from school up to TV. That's what I've done. And as a creative executive, I've done and coordinated a lot of creative work. I've created a lot of work being behind the scenes. I've managed talent, I've nurtured talent, I've done all that. As a community activist, I work in a lot of projects which are for social and community development. So that's how I always introduce myself as a thespian and creative executive and a community activist.
Yes, you're a man of many heads. But you didn't mention one of your professions that like a lot of people know you with. Like you're also an events promoter.
Yeah, I think that comes to the part of being a creative executive because it's about managing talent. Because if you are in the promoting, it's about integrating talent, promoting talent, and selling it. So that's what comes with it. Staging event, you are promoting talent and you are selling that talent. So that's the other thing that I've done. Amongst the things that I've done. So I think a lot of people associate me more with that, and in this promotion thing sometimes it's not really, because I think I've done events years ago, but where I am I don't do much event, but I'm more on activism, because there's that when something is in you and when you are not doing it specifically just for money, there's a time that you are just gonna do it even if it doesn't give you money, because it's passion and it's part of your DNA. So I've done and events which were mine. I've worked on other bigger events, and that's what makes me a promoter, as you say.
So, like I was doing my research, like I've been talking these past days. Someone was telling me that Bofelo started off as a cop before he's calling like activism and art. Can't only a policeman.
No. I think it always interests me because that's what confuses people. I was part of Maramo, so there's that film that was shot in Botswana, number one lady detective. I I was playing a cop there. So that's why that uniform. I've never been a cop, so that picture was taken from my set. But a lot of people actually think that I was a cop. And because, the funny thing is that because I'm a very laid back and very reserved person, a lot of people always question themselves, what is this guy up to? Because I'm not much out there. So I think then the other thing that even confused people much is that the way I always sometimes cut my beard, I'll do the mustache and do as the the army guy and the police guys do. You know, they just leave the mustache. I think that's the other thing that would confuse people. Then I even left doing that mustache then keeping the entire beard. So I've never been a cop.
Oh.
Yeah, that picture was from the Maram was the #1 lady detective agency movie.
Because during that time, there used to be a studio, apparently, that used to go and hang around in that studio in Phase 4. And people would get scared, but this guy is a cop, like maybe came to investigate us for doing this and that, and people would start running away from that studio one by one.
I don't know, I think you mean, was it the Sinwave studio or something?
I'm not sure, but there was a studio that had you hanging around in some studio back then.
Yeah, I remember, you know, the story of me and Sinwave back in 2000 and I think around 2004, I met the Sinwave guys, I think, in around 2003-4, around there in Block 6.
Mm-hmm.
We were neighbors in Block 6.
Yeah.
So coincidentally then, those guys, the funny thing, they stayed with me for more than a year without knowing my name. That was the other thing about me, you know. I just kept quiet. And what made things worse was like, years later, they moved their studio back to Phase 4. You know, I was staying Phase 4 that time. We moved together, but not together, but somehow we both moved from Block 6 to Phase 4, right? Mm-hmm. So, then one time, after I did that movie, then I shared that, I think I put the picture on Facebook, because, I mean, Facebooks were not big that time. I don't know whether it was, I don't know, but I had the picture. So when the guy saw the picture, I saw that, no, so then I didn't deny. I just laughed, said, these things. Then so the guys thought I was a cop and everything, so that's how everything happened.
I'll call this son of guys and I want to share this story with him. I'm sure they still think that Jake.
No, but AK I told him because he also was close to another lady who was also, I think, a trainee producer or a producer or something at the Namarandi detective agency. So I think through that I told her, no, I've been working with this person that you know, blah blah blah. So he was shocked at the end. But I don't think he told a lot of guys, because a lot of people still think I was a cop.
Even me up to today, I used to think you're a cop. And then also, people don't know really. I was still introducing him. People don't know really. One of the few people in Botswana who has donated blood more than anyone else.
Yeah, I'm a blood donor. Mm-hmm. I started donating blood when I was 16 years. Yeah, and how it happened is I always tell people that my love story is one of the greatest love stories in Botswana. Mm-hmm. You know, and how I donated blood is that there was this girl that was my childhood sweetheart at junior school. So, and I just wanted, there was a tech shop at school, and there were these ladies who were sitting by the gate. So we could buy maguiya and everything that they were selling at the gate. You know, that was normal for everyone. But those who had better resources would buy the school tech shop. But then one time I've always wanted to buy this girl the Zimba chips and drink, but I couldn't afford. With the budget that I had, the money, I couldn't afford those things. You know, it was luxury. So then the other time, the Red Cross, I think it was the Red Cross who was still conducting the blood donation thing. So the Red Cross came to our school. Then we are told that those who don't want to go to afternoon start can go donate blood. To me, I went there because I wanted to get that drink and Zimba chips for the so that's how I started donating blood. And unfortunately, I got them. Then I was very shy to give them to the lady. I put them in the locker. Then the guys broke the locker and stole them. Yeah, so that's why it's a story of love that I kept. Then after that, it continued to save lives. You know, it's a very beautiful story. So ever since then, I've been donating blood up. I think today I've done the 84th or so.
Serious?
Yeah, those I captured once, but because in the past they were just manual. They were just cards and so when they recorded, they just recorded what they could see. I think all in all that I've done more than 100, but the recorded ones are just about 84. So
So are you looking forward to continue with this journey of yours, like donating blood and stuff?
It's a very addictive exercise. It's very addictive. Yeah, I'll forever until maybe if God allows me to reach the age of 65, because that's the limit, the roof when it comes to age. And as long as I'm healthy enough to donate blood, I'll keep on donating blood.
You're saying it's addictive.
Yeah.
You're not sounding like you're the type of person to like have your body organs donated to people once you've left this earth.
I'm still not sure about that one, because I think it's something that is, when something have never really happened, you only read about it.
Yeah.
You need to be a very special person to consider that. Yeah, I think it's like where I'll say, should my body be burnt when I die? Should I be cremated? You understand? It's something that I'm not sure about, the organs and everything. But I think because I see that now we are developing as a nation, we're starting to have medical schools and everything. But I think to a certain extent, but you remember that when you die, it's not about you now, it's about the family. Yeah, the pain is left with the family. But the question is that can my mother, if she has to bury me, if I go before her, will she allow that? You understand? But I wouldn't want to hurt my family to that extent unless if they're okay with it. Yeah.
Because I've seen people, families who've shared stories of people actually, their son or aunt signed papers for it. When once I pass away, you take my heart, like you give it to the next person who needs a heart, you take this other part and stuff like that. So their history starts from being like blood donors, and they sort of like part of them, like them, when they're alive, they can still be useful, they can give people blood, and then when they die, they are more useful when they give away body organs.
Yeah, but this I think is quite different. Like I'm saying, it's quite different. Burying a person, it's something that is quite very difficult. Mourning that person and going to bury them, it's like what I'm saying. Even cremation, you understand. So I think it depends more from the family. How much does the family understand that? Because now I'll be normal, so I won't be taking decisions for myself. I might sign it, you understand, but I won't feel that pain. The pain will be left with my family. I wouldn't want to hurt my family. You understand?
Yeah. No, I get you. Also, like as Africans, these are not practices that we are accustomed to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I have friends, like I have a Rastafarian friend who does not believe in this blood donation thing. And as you know that there are other people. I know a lot of people who passed on, who had to be amputated, but others who had maybe sugar diabetes, the legs had to be cut off. They said no, we can't allow. So our belief or that religion does not allow that. So that it's quite. It depends. It's a case that depends from one case to another.
Just like Bob Marley's story.
Yeah.
Like he injured himself at some point, and then before that sickness grew big, they advised him to cut one of his limbs or something.
Then he refused.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Now let's take it back. Like where it all started. So how did the love for the creative art start?
I think my mother tells me that when I was still a little boy, there used to be a novel in my house called Malatlegi. I think the main character was Malatlegi. So I think they've read it for me according to them. Then I almost memorized the novel. Okay. But every time when a visitor comes, I'll take the novel and I'll pretend to be reading and I'll almost narrate the whole novel. Sometimes even the novel upside down. I don't remember that. It's what they tell me, right? But when I was about 9 years old, when we were still at primary level, I remember that I would participate in this Commonwealth Day things, where we are asked to read this, impersonating presidents, all that. And I was very active. I still remember I was doing that. Then at that time, I think my biggest break came when a gentleman, when I was still at Safari Primary School, there was this gentleman called Mr. Chaka. He was nearly Tirelos Chaba, those TS teachers.
Yes.
Then he casted me to play to perform one of the biblical scriptures. So I played the role of Jesus Christ. So the first role that I played was the role of Jesus Christ. That's how everything started. Then I did very well. Then junior school, I was always the best drama student up to senior school. I was doing that. I went to Farsi GSS, then I went to Lotsane, and then I was doing quite very well still. Then I remember because I was also part of the peer approach to counseling teenagers club, the PACT, which was called PACT, where you educate them, because that was the time when HIV/AIDS was still rising and it was very strong. So we had all these clubs at school that we had to teach our peers about this thing. So I participated in those things. So after I finished my Form 5 that December, a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, because I was not a games guy. I was a Pico and Francistown guys. Guys who are north of Debate, back then would go to Francistown or Pico. They never came to gaps unless if you have to come to school and whatsoever. So December, the year that we finished our Form 5, a friend of mine said, I was in gaps, man. There was this club called Yoho. I've seen these kids, they do drama. I think you can do better than most of them. They talk about, they do the same things that we do at PACT and everything. So then January, I came to GAPS for the first time, just going, I would come and visit my brothers here and my sisters, but sometimes. But then GAPS for the first time, I would say, then it was that 2002, early 2002 January, then I joined Yoho. Then that's where everything started. And I performed at my Diso festival. Then I started doing all those, writing those dramas for HIV/AIDS education. I started doing all those things, you understand? And I grew from there. Then it was talent. I've never been professionally or formally trained, you understand? Yes, we went for workshops and everything. So we did that until then I had an opportunity for the Tokolosi. You remember that controversial Tokolosi?
On TV?
Yes. Then I went audition. I got a part there, though it was not a major part, but I was playing the previous doctor. And then I did a lot of television.
But before you proceed, let's just talk about Tokolosi. That was like an iconic feature from in the Botswana local film industry. Like I was being part of that set.
It was amazing. We didn't know what was happening. It was our first experience, but though it was my first time to be on a real set, but I could feel this is something different, not knowing different from what, because I've never done anything. But at that same time there were other dramas which were produced. I had gone for other auditions, you understand, but the ambience and everything that was there was quite very different, you understand. Then we did it, and most of the time we didn't know the whole script. We didn't know the whole script because you were given your own script. Then you have to shoot there. If scene 1 and some scenes on episode 1 and some scenes on episode 10, they need to be shot at the one location. You go shoot all those scenes at that location. So then you can't connect the entire synopsis or what is happening, you understand? And sometimes the scenes that you don't appear with, you don't get to be called to set because you are not shooting anything. So you only know what you are doing, you understand? But until then, when it came, then we were shocked as well, you understand? Because we did not know the entire script.
Have you ever been in a jail by with the Tokolosi in the scene?
Yeah, because there are other scenes that they never made it to TV. And I remember the other interesting scene that I did, because I was a medical doctor. Remember that Dipuka got pregnant, and I was Dipuka's doctor. So Dipuka had to give birth, but she had to give birth to a Tokolosi because she was impregnated by a Tokolosi. So that was a very interesting scene where I had to help Dipuka to give birth, and where she was delivering, and the Tokolosi was there because I think they were using the hand of that guy to come as a newly born, that had to come out as the people to see. I think that's the scene that I was at the same time with Dipuka and the Tokolosi on the same set and doing the same scene. It was quite very, very interesting, but it never made it to TV. I think they felt maybe it it was not okay. I don't know, but it never made. It was a very controversial. You know that it was very controversial. That drama. Yeah.
So with the controversy and all, we're Africans. You know, we are like issues struggle to hold us like as Africans. Now, when you're walking in the streets, which questions were you coming across? Do I guys really using what was that?
You know, it was because what was happening is that even kids. I remember that time my sister was a teacher at Mulifi. So the time my scenes played, because my scenes were not much, I think I had about 5 scenes or so. And the time I remember I went to Mulifi. I went to check my sister. Sometimes I would spend months there staying with my sister and stuff. I remember the time I was working, I was in a combi, like people were saying, okay. And I was like, I just ignored, you know. Then I jumped off by Mulifi, I walked in the school, and okay, other people would not recognize me, but other people, they knew me because they knew my sister was there, like other teachers were working with my sister, and other people said, no, now also and all stuff. So others, but people, it was a shock to people. And where I was more uncomfortable, sometimes I went with the same sister to my Fiki. So we're there, no Pick and Pay. I think is it the crossing or something. And we're there like, is it Mega City? I still don't remember the mall. Which mall was it? Boss, the attention, because South Africans know they appreciate this thing and everything, and they watch BTV, and Produce was popular. So I think that's the other thing that made me to not go much into being in front of the camera, because I had a problem with attention. I was very uncomfortable with a lot of people coming. So, hey, it's you. Not that I don't appreciate people appreciating what I do, but I was not comfortable. So I think it's Tokolus that made me to not proceed with being in front of the camera and decided to go behind, because I had problem with attention, too much attention. I couldn't manage and everything. But the funny thing is that there are a lot of things that I'm working on, a lot of content that I'm creating right now. But I think it's for the purpose of legacy. You know, that, you know, I need to have something. When you have a talent given by God, you need to exploit, you need to share it with the world. So I'm working on that, because I think I'm old enough now to be able to absorb that attention and manage it.
But now you said that the film you stopped being in front of the camera much, but there was an iconic feature film again that you appeared on, Maramotwe.
Yeah, Maramotwe, that time I think, because Maramotwe, I think we shot Tokolus in 2005, but it came on screens in 2006. That time when it was still on screen, that's when we shot Maramotwe. You know, that was before I encountered much of those, you understand? Then we shot Maramotwe, yeah.
How was the experience on the Maramotwe set?
The Maramotwe was great. I think I shot about 4 scenes, but I think only 2 made it to the movie. But it was amazing, man. It was something that I had never seen. Now, you know, there was a time that I did the TVCs.
Yeah.
Then there's a time that we went to do Tokolusi. Then there's a time that I went to an international film set. So it was totally different. It was just amazing, and it was amazing. I mean,
what did you learn from that period?
I think a lot. I learned more about the value chain of the creative industry. That's why that the people who do this, you know, who supply this, the service, they almost everyone on set, you know, the engineers, the carpenters, the electricians, you know, you're not even talking about actors and camera people, the producers, but, you know, the chefs, everybody, the medical team, the security, there's almost everyone on set. So that's why that I learned that, okay, it means that you can do other things apart from operating the camera, the actual thing that the technical or the acting part of the film, something which is the support, which forms part of the value chain. So those are some things that I've learned there then. Yeah, it was amazing. Even the professionalism. I think because there was time that I had an opportunity to sit down with those people, you know, even Jill Scott, who was the main actor, the main character, you know, so I played the main character. So I had an opportunity to sit with those guys, the Desmond Dube, Buvusi Kunene, you know, Jack Mabaso, because they were in the mood. So that's an opportunity that I was able to sit down with them, and I learned a lot, you know.
But speaking of that, like we've had like professional sets in Botswana, like we've had proper feature films like Botivolos. How come our film industry is not yet there? Like you've been there like since the inception of it, but like our productions are not up to par, like they're not up to standard. Like when I like as a thespian, as someone who's like part of the industry, why do you think things are the way they are? Without talking about maybe the relevant stakeholders of the government, they're not buying productions, but Runayela is practitioners. Why is it that we haven't improved on our quality, acting, picture quality, directing, producing? What's wrong?
It's because people are not, you know, some other things. It's not only the film or the creative industry. You know, everything should be driven by passion. It can't just be driven by profit. Profit does not grow anything, because profit will eat that money, but you need to be passionate about something, and you need to really recognize and appreciate and respect talent. But what I've realized is that, I'll tell you, for example, I don't know how other people, you talked about how iconic Tokulusi was, but there are a lot of dramas we were commissioned at BTV. And Tokulusi was one of the first to be, Toto it was the first, Tokulusi and Ribidamo, they were the first to be commissioned, you know, by BTV. But there are many, even hundreds of dramas and production, commissioned by BTV. But people still say Tokulusi was iconic. I don't know, because I think I've gone to many auditions, but the auditions, how those guys were auditioning, is quite different from how I've seen the auditions, a lot of auditions that I've attended in Botswana. One of the things, not all, but I know that a lot of people, when they get jobs, they call their niggas or their guys to come on set. They don't go for talent. People call who they know, you understand? So that is why talent in Botswana is that the production seems to be like substandard. Is because you know that Dumisani is good in this, but you don't want Dumisani, because one of the weakness that we have, general as a nation, we love self-glory. That noise Bofelo, Bofelo, or Dumisani. We don't believe in teamwork. You understand? We care more about what people getting credit than giving out a quality product. So that's the problem. You understand? Yeah. So that is why we're having that much a problem. We have a lot of guys with good equipment, across all the subsectors, even the music industry and everything. You understand? Yeah. That's why like talent is going down. The creativity, the output is going down in terms of quality. You understand? Because now it's a hustle. You understand? That's why I think the other thing is even the controls and the measures. So that's why sometimes you have a qualified, someone who's a qualified medical doctor. He's still running a production company, because he knows someone who can give him jobs, and he can make quick money out of that. And that money, the other painful thing is that the guys who make money, who get jobs, majority of them, they don't reinvest in the industry. They get this money and invest somewhere else, not in the industry. That is why right now I always tell people that with the standard of our economy and us as Botswana, where we are, and looking at the money that the government and other stakeholders have put in the industry, at some point that money was enough. But the problem is that the money is not put where it's supposed to be put. You understand? The government can put out 100 million pool, right? But for a production company or the programs that to do with the creative and stuff. But that money, if it's not going to be put in the creative, then it's a problem. We are going to continue to feel that there's not enough money. But the money at some point that was given, it was enough. The problem is that it was not directed to the right purpose. So that is the problem that we are having. Our systems are porous. Because like right now you realize that there are many government departments who are funding the arts or the creative industry, but everyone is doing it themselves independently. You understand? Sometimes without even the contribution or anything from my side. You understand it? Or in other countries, you can't put money, you can't sponsor a TV production or everything without the involvement of the film commission. You understand?
Okay.
So now anyone wants to do, any company can decide, no, Minister of Health can decide, no, we are working on a drama, we are doing a drama. And the ministry, which is a custodian, does not know anything. They will just see a drama on TV. So I think that is one of the problems that is there. Everybody's doing what they want. Yeah.
So what's the role of a film commission?
No, the film commission, that's how simple it is. It's as simple as that.
Okay. You mentioned of all the creative outflow is going down. So you've also been a festival promoter. Like you've done like big events, like a lot of events. So there used to be a time where you guys were also being criticized. Promoters, you guys are killing the local music industry by bringing in like international art acts to come and perform at gigs, and then you pay them proper money, and then when local guys come through, you are doing like peanuts. Like it's a private business, I know, but like when there's someone who's been there, like how do you like explain that?
I think it's I don't know, but okay, my biggest era in events was between 2002 and 2010. That was my biggest era. Then I moved home, I stayed home for about 3 years. I came back to town in 2015. So the time I came back, there was already a gap. So I didn't do much events alone. I think my last event that I did was 2011, just before I moved back home, you know, when I brought Professor for the first time. So, but post that, up to, from 2015 when I came back to the city, I'm more focused on corporate events than festivals and everything. So, yes, I am part of the community, the promoters, the advocacy, the support and everything. And when we started to try to do another event in my home village, which is just coming small by small, but things have really changed. But going back to this thing of people that artists, foreign artists are benefiting. Even in South Africa, South African artists are crying about American artists. You understand?
Yeah.
You remember they were crying about Pharrell the other day, having got, I think, the Always deal. They're always crying about them. Everyone is crying somewhere. You understand? Because everyone somewhere has got someone who is maybe perceived to be better than them. You understand?
Yeah.
So my take on that one is that I think artists need good administrators. You understand? I still remember the time I've worked with 3 artists as a manager, as an administrator to them. Was Mapetla, is Bofelo Kgaodi, is Eugene Jackson. You understand? And when I worked with these guys, we're getting gigs and we're getting paid. You understand? And I think it depends. I remember, I will not mention that, I remember the time when I started administrating, helping my peddler, administrating everything. So the time that was after, the biggest peak of my peddler was during like Pans Pezul, you understand? Then he was still signed at Extreme Mix with Kenny McKenzie. Then Kenny went to UK. Then my peddler started his own Peddler's Tavern, right? Then he released that album called Yazbuile, you understand? Independent with this record label. So then we started working together in 2007. So I came in and I was just responsible for his admin, to push bookings and endorsements and stuff. So after that album, because honestly, Pans Pezul did not do like how, I mean, Yazbuile did not do like how Pans Pezul did. So they were struggling. There were a lot of artists coming up that time. I remember then we had to go to one of the companies who was our client. Our client wanted to endorse another artist for billboards and promotions and one soundtrack and stuff. There was an artist, I think 2-3 artists who were on top. The other artist I remember, it was VS with that We Check a song and everything. And there's the other artist that I will not mention. So what happened is that VS, I'm just mentioning him because he managed to get a deal. But I had to kick out those other artists. But I was the manager. I came there and said, no, my peddlers don't have a new song. These guys have got new songs. But I had to convince those people. You understand? I had to convince those people to plug in. And my peddler got a deal. You understand? Even it was much bigger than what the VS did. You understand? And those other artists did not get anything. You understand? Because there was no one talking for them there. It was their talent talking for them. But I was the manager, I was the administrator. Then I had to make sure what the artist that I did job for. Then we did the soundtrack. I remember it was produced by a guy called Drum, who produced Isbuil. You understand? What I'm simply saying is that I think the artists, the managers should defy the odds. You understand? They should defy them. You understand? How was ATI getting bookings and being paid all those monies? How is Ezra making it now? You understand? How is Hansi getting paid? Because I've worked with Hansi. I know he charges what he charges, and I can negotiate, but he charges what he charges, and he gets what he wants to get. You understand? So I don't know, but because right now with the digital era, globalization and everything, sometimes it's quite difficult for you to think that you can say foreign artists, this foreign artist, that. You understand? But I think also the other thing that is, I know it's a problem, is what people want. You understand? When I want to do a show, sometimes I'm telling you that sometimes when we stage shows, we can say, we can just throw a teaser for people to hear or to get what people want. But then what about the artist? So how about the artist? When I was doing how quite so when my time were not alone, but me like current got there, so they're leading measures saying they are force but the local music. The artist is a local. I think right now, the artist did 10. Telling whether they release and they don't release, that still on top of the game. But you must understand what sometimes an event is about the vibe. You understand? What are people vibing with that time? Sometimes yes, you can make an event and you really have to it has to be a special event. It has to be a concept. But then the things don't have to be monotonous. You understand? How can start Tasalebala? Then and you want to do the same thing that Kes did for Tatsalebala, no one is going to come. You understand? I think we need to be more creative and think more outside the box. You understand? To be able to do that. Like right now, there's an artist that I'm working with I've been for the past 3 years, the girl is very talented. You understand? But the environment is not the same. But once she's out, I'm going to make sure that she goes to each and every gig. You understand? That's my duty as a manager. You understand? But then the other problem is that the managers today can work because the manager really celebrate. The managers is what I was trying to do, artist. Manager hale. I'm not saying about but if you are going to be focused on posting on Instagram more than you are posting, or the same way you are posting for an artist, then it's a problem. You understand? You go there, the artist, Palma stage, the artists can't even go out there. They want promoters to hunt them. You understand? Promoters don't hunt managers, they hunt artists. So when I say manager, you need to hunt promoters. You understand? That's how easy. The other thing, a lot of these guys, body manager or booking agents, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what is artist management. They don't know what agency, booking agent, they don't know anything. So they're just there, they're friends of artists. They happen to have access to artists. You understand? So they don't know what they're doing. So they need to work and convince promoters. Artists already convince people with their music. The managers or the record companies to sell, because a promoter is like showbiz. Showbiz sells what people want to. You think when people are showbiz, because of how Namatung is perceived, they can't sell it.
Yeah.
But they look at majority and everything what people want, and also how it will implicate on the brand.
So, in other ways, are you saying that to have in the creative industry locally, is there an ecosystem? Like, is the money circulating? Is there something like that?
The most important thing, you remember I talked about the value chain.
Yes.
You understand? My man, for you, it is even like when the BMC wants to sell meat to Europe, they can't slaughter a cow like that, slaughtering Babalela Komule Suko Safari. You understand? There are certain measures that are taken for you to be able to sell that meat for EU. How about EU? But it's the same meat, tastes the same. You understand? So, but there are ways and channels and how you handle everything, and how you package and how you sell, and how you guarantee the market of the quality and even the healthiness of the product that you are doing. You understand? So we need the value chain. We need to know that you need to do this, and someone needs to do this, and someone needs to do this, and someone needs to do this. That's what is very important. You understand?
Because if I make me and you traveled to Durban some years ago, I think it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a music and visual conference.
Yeah.
In Durban, whereby we met with people, different positions and roles within the music industry, entertainment industry. And with the conversation, asking ourselves, how come we don't have such people or responsibilities in our industry? We don't even have a single record label in Botswana.
The problem is that in Botswana, we don't have a music industry. We just have a sector, just an informal sector there. Yeah. A creative informal sector. We don't have an industry. How do you have an industry without the regulations? We don't have regulations, we don't have anything that is happening. You understand? So you can't have an industry without regulations. So until we have that, and we know that there's also a creative industry and a creative business. You understand? There are two different things. The industry will be us, artists, filmmakers, regulated film commission, the recording authorities, everything. You understand? Even our products having standards, bobs. You understand? Then you are having an industry. Then you are going to need to have a business now. You understand? A business, people who invest.
Yeah.
That's the business people, the business part of it. When you have investors, you understand. That's why you have people sometimes with land and plans and everything, but they don't have money to buy. Then they will look for investors who come and invest so that you build them more. You understand? There's a real estate sector with these guys who owns. A lot of these guys, they don't even finance their things. You understand? These malls. You understand? Then they have business people who don't know anything about, they just know the value. You understand? But they just invest. They don't have time to go look for land. They don't have time to go look for ideas and plans and shops and what. They just invest. Then you have the guys who are actually in the retail, at the property, the real estate, who will make sure that those things, they get tenants and get proper shops and get clients. That industry has got the industry part and the business part. You understand? So there's no our creative industry in the music business industry. Our sector is a sector. It's just an informal sector. There's no our informal sector can have investors when there's no industry. Yeah, because industry, like I'm saying, so you talk about the regulations, the authorities, and everything. So that's where we need to start first. Then we can have record companies.
Why is it that it's been taking long to establish certain things? Our creative industry is close to 60 years old now, if I'm not mistaken.
My man, you need to make laws. Laws are made at Parliament. The Parliament needs to make laws. You understand? But you need to. But I think right now where we are, the creative industry is not a priority. People don't. That's why even when people are talking about the economy, they don't talk about. But for when we started having our independent ministry, the arts and stuff years back. We thought things would be better. And you can ask yourself that how long did the Ministry of Arts exist without an arts council? You understand? But the bill was there, was long. I'm always proud that I was part of the people who were there at Maharaj when we were drafting this thing. And I always thank those who really pushed for it, you understand? But it was there, then it caught dust for about close to 10 years until it was just passed, you understand? But the time it was passed, it's working now, you understand? But probably now it's here. It's been how many years now? 6-7 years? But is there any difference?
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah.
So why did it, so would you say being a creative in Botswana, it's taking it as a curiosity risk with this current state?
I think being a creative in Botswana is an extreme sport. Yeah, you talk about makarapa. Yeah, you took a lot of safety gear. If you know what I'm saying, you understand. And I think, a lot of us are surviving it because we're able to calculate it from the word go. And when we went in before the glitz and the glamour, which is existing. We just went in with talent and passion, and we never thought we'd ever make money. Guys were making money, but we said, one time we'll make money. But we didn't know when. Even when the money started coming, we did not know the money was coming, and we were not ready for it, and we didn't even care about it. You understand? So I think that's how a lot of us managed to learn and survive it. You understand? So that's why, like, a lot of us are immortal, are still existing. But then you have people who just come. There are people that there are three kinds of people in our industry. There are people who are passionate about it. There are people who come in because of fame. They want to be seen and they want to be known. And there are people who come because there's an opportunity, they just want to eat and go, who are vultures. You understand? Yeah. So that's the problem. You understand? And there are these people, I don't know whether they should be the fourth class or they belong to some of this class. That are people who convince themselves that they are blind. You understand? You can have certain talent but be incomplete. You understand? So the people get frustrated, and how sometimes, and very rarely, this bullets about they are talented, but they think they know everything. They read a lot, and they think they know because they've read a lot. You understand? Things don't work that way. That's why right now you can go to UB or whichever any school in Botswana that has got. Which has been offering people and having students graduating from the creative or performing side. But then you count them. Right now, when you look at our content in Botswana, there are people who have never seen the creative lecture room. Majority of them, they don't know the creative lecture room. The talent. There are people who are just born with that talent and they do their thing. You understand? But a majority of people who have gone to school and done the things, sometimes they think they know a lot of things that they don't know. You understand? And sometimes most of them, it's not about that, but it's about them wanting to do things with certain quality and certain standard. Then it be prague, and they can't do anything. You understand?
Yeah, no, and you speak with passion, like Kari, you went to school for this. So my question now is, why are you not taking these leadership roles? Because Kari, you have a lot of background information that is not being utilized by relevant stakeholders and even private entities. Because by now we should be having like all these platforms that you're speaking about. But me and you, we know that we don't have them at the moment.
You know what? The thing is that art is politics. You understand? Art is politics. One needs to understand and appreciate that and really know what it means when I'm saying art is politics. You understand? It's just like sports. You understand? Yeah. So, and this thing, they come with political will and government interests. You understand? Yeah. How much is the government interested? You understand? And is there a political will? There can be an interest, but the political. Sometimes the government is people who are running the government enclave. Your directors or PSS and everything, but is there a political will? Sometimes there's political will and there's no interest from the government, the technocrats or the accounting officers. You understand? If PS is not interested, even when the minister can be interested, it can't happen. When the PS is interested, the minister is not interested, it can't happen. You understand? That's why sometimes I remember when we're facing the government during Boss 50, when we were crying about those things. Some of us, we went with some guys where we went to confront the minister about how we felt that the local creative industry had been denied opportunity to participate or to take part and to be empowered. You understand? And we went to see him. We even went to the parliament. We tried to see the vice president. Then Remasisi was not around. Then we went to parliament. We met all these guys from the ruling party, then the BDP, and the guys who were in the opposition then. You understand? But they were there. The guys in opposition, they will say, no, the ruling party is not doing things accordingly. Then the other guys in the ruling party will say, no, we'll talk to the minister. They have to help you. No, we need to talk about this issue and everything, guys. But take this issue to parliament, make laws. You understand? So that these things don't happen. But you go there, you can go there and pick the answer at parliament and check how many guys have said anything about the creative industry. They will say in political rallies, they will say in conferences, they will say all these things in this, the workshops and stuff. You understand, in Hotline meetings. But they'll never say these things in parliament where it matters most, where it's making laws.
So with your experience now, like as you're speaking out of experience, like which experience being in the industry for what, 2 decades now?
Yeah, 25 years. I've been in existence when I was very young, man.
Yeah. So like you've seen the industry evolve. Now there's a word that, I don't know if it's a war, if it's a development, if we should be happy or upset. There's AI. And people are producing hits using AI. Now the physical artist is not doing much. The artist is feeling like they are under threat. Is AI a threat to the creative industry?
No, I don't think so. Good in terms of in terms of music. I'll take for example music. In terms of music, you can make hits. Then who's going to play those hits is DJs. You understand? But as long as you cannot have an AI event, music can die. People who like performance, live performance. If you can, all the stars are stars. You understand? If you can give us as raw of AI in person, if you can't give us Hansi of AI in person, you understand? Then we are still going to have events. You understand? So if you can't set a born and raised in AI in the stadium, the mood and everything, then people are still going to go to born and raised. And what do they want when they get there? They want artists to perform there. So if we make music through AI, what are you going to do? You're still going to need performers. Yes, DJs can come and replay those things. Or sometimes people are saying that maybe it's going to kill talent because it will make talent like it will shift real talent and replace with AI. I think this is like auto-tune. You understand? People came with auto-tune, but they were not talented. You understand? Because there's sometimes where people want real stuff. I think for the next, I don't know, maybe I'm saying for 4 years, we'll see, at 5 years, we'll see what happens. But AI is there, I think it's just a matter of artists to use AI if it helps them to arrange songs and they are able to perform those songs. And look, it's like this thing, where you have a AI girlfriend. That one about I'm an AI girlfriend. So what can you do with an AI? Can you take her to bed? You can't. You understand?
Yeah.
You can talk, I don't know, but I don't know, man. AI is there, and in the film industry, yeah, it's there, we see it. I think it can be cause more harm in the film industry than in the music industry.
But as locals, can we say that it's a threat to us, like currently?
No, not yet. It's far. You know, you took a translate. Digitalization. You know, Botswana talked about digitalization when no one was. Good, even if you can go now, you go to Apple, you check Spotify, you really check the numbers of people who are on Apple and Spotify in Botswana. It's very low, even in South Africa.
You mean artists or?
No. The consumers.
The consumers. Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, it's very low. You understand? You are not like in America. People. It's just that we have taken physical copies away from. Do you remember when we were in Durban together in Imbizo in 2016?
Yeah.
Or 10 years ago. And there was that guy who was talking. I don't know if you were part of that session. It's called Dodo Monamut. When they were talking about the fallacy of digital migration, when they were talking about people still wanting copies, people are still, but the artists were not signed to major record labels, but at that time they were still doing their own copies, physical copies, and selling them. When the guys were registered in major record labels, they were already discarding that and going into the digital platforms. But they were not making money in digital platforms. Because even artists, they don't make money in these digital platforms. Artists are making money in performance and endorsements today. There are very few of people, even Bofelo Kgaodi, if you look at how they're making money and everything, it's performance. That's why I charge them $1 million. Wow. Yeah, it's that and endorsements. And selling other things, clothes, and everything that is attached to their brands. You understand?
So I once wrote recently, actually, last year, I wrote an article. The CD era was much better than the digital era.
Yeah.
Because like that time that the CD, no one CD it's a 10, you know that you get 1,000.
Yeah.
But now, like, you can have 10,000 people streaming music. You don't even see a single cent.
No.
So would you say like the digitalization will really like the music industry in terms of CD sales, or we should just adapt to the new?
You know the problem, Dumisan. The problem mostly is the market. How is our market cultivated for the digitalization? You understand? How the devices? How many people have got smartphones? How many people can access internet to stream all along for a long time without hosabature and everything? You understand? But right now, yes, we have this thing. There's YouTube. Yes, in other social platforms, we can upload those things and stuff. You understand? But one thing, how you judge it with an artist themselves. How much are they making?
Nothing.
You understand? So that's the problem. Sometimes we have this weakness or tendency of jumping into things. You understand? Yeah. I mean, when people are saying they were migrating to digital, they should not have dumped the physical. They should have carried with the physical until people were not buying the physical. But we left people stranded. Like stranded without. You understand? You go to almost every household in Botswana, they have a CD player. But they can't play CDs because there are no CDs.
There's no CDs in the States. Yeah.
But someone will see this and say, what is this guy talking about? This guy is old, what. But I'm talking facts. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm talking facts. This is just like even TV right now.
Yeah.
How many people in Botswana are watching Netflix?
I would like to say a fair number.
People still want traditional TV.
Yeah.
But I was seeing somewhere saying to someone that, you know, the time when Facebook and all these platforms are going to close uploading of IP about, the traditional TV is going to grow. Because Botswana are not ready for this thing of buying online and everything. Do you think you think people are 50 years, 60 years, they can risk their credit cards online right now? There are very few of them who can do that. You understand? Yeah. Especially up at the Ghana, you must understand the TV, the traditional TV is about family setup. Our community or our society, they have this thing entrenched in them of community or society where you come together as a family and sit together as family. You understand? So there are many factors around it. Yes, people are on phones, are doing that and everything, but believe me, once all these platforms, they start saying, no, we are just not going to upload this for free. You have to buy for everything. There's going to be that point. Then it's coming whereby the only thing that you are going to see is just a writing on Facebook. And you are not going to see anything, motion picture, without paying for it. That time is coming and it's very near. And with our society where we are right now, because we are very behind.
Earlier on, I asked you a question which you like you just boldly didn't answer me here. Like I was asking, why are you not taking leadership roles? Like Malubanyana, you're contesting to be the Botswana Entertainment Promoters Association president, given a paper.
Yeah.
And then last minute you withdrew. Or like someone pulled a.
Oh, okay, that one. No. You know, when you go to these elections, it's about strategy, what you want to achieve. But where you think that you can achieve that through the other person, you let go. You understand? And that's what we had talks behind the scenes with other guys. But is it necessary? I mean, how do you go to elections where you have about 60 people voting, then you run 3 of you? You understand?
Yeah.
You know that elections divide and all those things, but sometimes you do not want too many in such a small organization. So it was just about that, because sometimes I believe that you can also contribute without being in the front line. That's what I've enjoyed for most of the time. No,
that's a fair response. But going forward, should we expect to see you like in any of these leading positions? Is there a union that you're going to start for musicians, for artists, for the creative industry, whatsoever?
I'm not sure. I can't say I can't, or I won't say I can, because like everything is determined about what is happening at that time. But I'll always be supportive of these organizations or associations. But then one thing that I don't believe in is going around starting new organizations and everything. It doesn't help anything. You need to be part of the problem and solve that problem, then you become part of the victory. Yeah.
And then before we close, there's something very inspirational that you did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are now, but you decided to go back to school like when you were now a fully grown adult. And it wasn't like an easy flow for you. Like at times you were like, there was modules that were not good and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you ended up graduating. Like, what gave you the drive of going to school as a grown man who's already working and stuff?
I've always believed in education. I've always believed in getting graduate and stuff. But I think for many years I got consumed. When we were still young, I think myself going to Yoho at an early age, when we were still waiting for the results, I went to Yoho and I was already had bigger responsibilities, experiencing money, and especially the engagement and growing with what I love, to time and everything, And I remember that I did not do very well in other subjects. Because I was quite a very naughty student, very intelligent but very naughty and not focused. So then I didn't really do well. Then my brother, my eldest brother, it's an academy, he's a professor right now. So he wanted to take me to school to Zim. That was I think around 2002 or something. So I said, no, it's not time. My time for school will come. One thing that the guy is an academic, but the guy did not give me pressure. You understand? But he inspired me and he said, no, at your own time. You understand? But I knew that I had promised myself that one day I should graduate. I promised my mother, I promised him, I promised my other siblings, so one day I'll go to school. Then my immediate elder brother, because I've got 3 elder brothers, I'm the youngest brother and the youngest child in the family. So my immediate brother, so I was staying with him at the time, he also tried to push me, so you should do courses, you should do the small courses. Then I said, no, I'll go one day, not now, you understand? But the thing that they never put any pressure on me, but they supported me in everything that I was doing, like wholeheartedly, you understand? So then I started checking schools checking Bo AFDA, checking Bo vets, checking all the schools that I needed to do something to do with creativity. Maybe acting, performance, or TV production, film production and stuff. So by that time, I said, but where would I got admitted by a few schools, but then the money, you understand. Then I had decided that I was going to push for AFDA. That was around 2019. I was trying to raise funds and everything. Then immediately they came that sponsorship thing that came for the when they end up me, and that pushed me to end up graduating. Then I went there, then I applied. They wanted the everything's certificates, the references and the CV. So they gave Bebanga. But then initially I had to do music production. I said, no, I can't do music production. Let me do marketing. So then I went to do a Bachelor of Business Honors in marketing. Okay. So I went there. It was quite very tough, especially because marketing has got a lot of calculated subjects. So it wasn't easy, but it had to be done. You understand? I quite enjoyed it, and I'm working on trying to get my master's now. So
wonderful.
The thing is quite very interesting. So maybe because I kind of graduated, get food something. So what I do food, it means that life begins at food. Life at food. So you can see that I was telling you that at the beginning of this conversation, I told you that right now I'm creating content. I've started creating content.
What kind of content is that?
No, it's a lot. It's going to surprise you. There are a lot of things. You'll see. Okay. I don't want to tell anyone, but you will see. I'll let you know what I'm doing. But at my age, you understand, then trying to create that legacy. So everything begins at food. There are a lot of things. Funny enough, there are a lot of things that I've started doing after I turned 40, when I was around 40 and everything. You understand? Then I said between 40 and 50, I'm going to achieve a lot of these things, because now that adrenaline, or partying and everything is gone. You understand? So I have more time. You understand? So that's where I'm taking my energy to now.
No, we'll be looking forward to seeing the content. Let's hope this is the content that you were talking about, to revolutionize and change the industry. So before we close, is there anything else that you want to say before we part?
No, thank you for the opportunity, giving me the platform to talk. I hardly do this interviews and stuff, but no, thanks. And I'm looking forward to do a lot of things. And just want to give advice to the younger creatives who are coming. Understand? I think the most important thing is to have conversation with one another, with everyone in the industry. I always hear them talking about this gatekeeping. That the older school are gatekeeping them. There's nothing such as gatekeeping. But this is a topic for another day. People don't have relationships in our industry. So, and they don't know who is who has done what and everything. You understand? So I hope that one of the things that I'm trying to do is also try to reach to as much as people, especially the younger creatives, and also try to push them to work together. People don't work together. Collaborations are also key. But thank you very much. We'll share more.
No, that was a Makoya interview. All right, no, see you on the flip side.